live streaming.
How about
live now? We're live streaming now, so go ahead.
All right. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Happy New Year once again. Happy 2022. If you had a great 2021, then I pray that you have an even better 2022. This is an exciting opportunity for us to learn about pathways today. As usual, we will start with the Toastmasters Promise. I would like to read it. I would like us to read along with me, but keep your audio muted so that we don't disrupt the audio atmosphere. I'll start on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Let's give ourselves a round of applause because we just made a lot of promises. Now, today, as I mentioned earlier, we are running the Pathways training for the benefit of our members or even guests who are thinking of joining Toastmasters or members who are veterans that are not comfortable with Pathways. The idea is to demystify Pathways. At the end of this training session, Pathways should become a piece of cake. And who better to do this for us than a proven expert, one of the presidents of the Pathways Expert Committee back in 2021. He's the Division L Program Quality Director. He's a speech contest champion in French and in English. I mentioned he is a Pathways expert. He is also a mentor and sponsor of iPad 33 of Logos Toastmasters Club. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the timing for this event is 1 hour, 15 minutes basics, 30 minutes to talk about different parts, and 15 minutes how to progress. And then we have a question and answer session, robust question and answer session for 30 minutes. So in total, we have 1 hour, 30 minutes for this. I will now like to call on the experts, Mr. Toastmaster Lansini Diabate. Please give me a big round of applause. Otherwise, we will not start. Yes.
So finally, I admitted you.
Oh,
thank you.
With the phone?
Thank you very much. Yes. Finally, I use my phone with the face, and I will be sharing my screen on the computer.
Absolutely. That's okay.
Here,
that's
so
okay.
that you can see. Okay. Are you able to see me very well?
Yes, we can see you. Very appropriate. So we need to move on because we have limited time. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Today I'm going to talk with you about pathways, and I'm going to talk about 3 things. First of all, we'll talk about the basics, understand the basics of pathways. Then we'll talk about the different paths, and we'll last in talking about how do we progress in the pathways before going for the conclusion. The aim of this meeting is to better understand the aim of pathways for those who are new, because Pathways is a new program, to better understand the different paths and also to better understand how do we progress in Pathways. This is the session objectives. Now, let's talk about the basics, because it is important to know why Pathways. And if you know why Pathways, you will better follow up and you will more master your learning. You see, in Pathways, you have different skills that you can build. And we used to say that those skills are directly transferable in the different situation of life, in enterprises, etc. For example, when you are in a field and you are facing a problem concerning a specific skill, which can be a team management, you can go straightly picking up a path dealing with team management and learn exactly the skill you want, master that skill, and come back in your enterprise to practice. This is a very beautiful thing that Pathways offers to us. You can have a problem of project management. So when you have the problem of project management, you just go on Pathways, you pick the path concerning the skill, you master the skill, and you come back in your enterprise to practice. So Pathways help us to go for our different skills needed at a time that we need to master to be able to get our objectives. It is a fundamental difference between Pathways and the old program. And in Pathways you have, and in these skills, in these different skills, you can master 300 skills that you have the possibility to get when you are a Toastmasters enrolled on Pathways. And this is very interesting. Let's move on the different paths, but before, we have also another important thing to note with that. It is that in Pathways, you have the possibility from the base camp to access the different resources. So anywhere you are in the world, you have access to those resources, so you can master directly your skills without any thing that can break your plans. So this is also an important thing to know. And this is fundamental in Pathways approach. Now let's make a zoom on the different 11 paths and the contents. You have a path called or named engaging humor, when you can master some skills in humor, to know what is your sense of humor, how to deliver humorous speeches, etc. So if you are interested in developing humorous or humor skills to yourself, you can go for engaging humor. If you are interested in developing skills concerning the coaching to become a positive leader, you can go with effective coaching. And in this path, you will learn different skills that can help you to become a better coach. You have also the path persuasive influence, yes, to become an innovative leader. So if you want to better make influence in difficult situation or in conflict resolution, for example, in this path, you will have different projects that will help you to master those skills. Persuasive influence. You have also presentation mastery for those who only want to really master the communication aspect. This path is focused on the different things that you will be needing to become a great communicator, such as the public management when delivering a speech, the gesture, etc. You will learn those skills more deeply in this path. You have also strategic relationships. And an history is that I was somewhere and in some months ago, I did not have many skills to manage very well my contacts in my phones and the people I knew, I know. And I come in these pathways to master those skills. So if you want to better develop your relationship, how to manage your contact, the person you know, etc., you can have different solution in this path. And also you have team collaboration for those who want to master different skills about how to manage more well the team, your team. What are the different rules you must put or you must follow when you are leading a team? What you must not do, how to motivate your collaborators, etc. So if you want those skills, you can go through team collaboration to master it quickly. The communication or the visionary communication also to master the way you communicate with your team, the way you communicate your vision, the way you structure your vision. You can also learn this in this path. So if you see, you have different paths and different skills you can develop. You have also innovative planning for those who want to develop skills about the project management. You can choose innovative planning. You have the dynamic leadership for those who want to perform skills about the negotiation to become a dynamic leaders. And you have also the leadership development to become an effective leader. So here it is a low level of leadership to master how to deal with time management, how to manage a little team, and how to conduct this little team to get your objectives. You have leadership development. And also you have the motivational strategies where you can learn more about the motivation, the emotional intelligence, etc. So when you see the structure of pathways, you have many paths, and different paths contains different skills that you can master. And in the structure of pathways, you can go straightly in some projects you need to perform quickly a skills that you need at a time, and you have this flexibility to become better in a very short time. Now let's talk about how we progress in pathways. In pathways, you have 5 levels of progression. You have to master the fundamentals, where you will learn the basic skills of communication, how to write a speech, how to structure a speech, etc. And now you have updates with learning vocal variety, the gesture, etc. in the fundamentals. And when you have finished to master the fundamentals, you will learn your style. You will learn your style firstly to know what is your style of communication and leadership, but the more important is to know what are the others types or styles of communication and leadership, so that when you are facing someone, you can get quickly his style of communication and adapt your language and your words so that you can better understand each other. And this level two, for me, is the heart of pathways, because a great leader is the leader who must be able to detect the style of the person who is facing him and to better manage the communication and leadership actions. So pay attention to your style at this level, but also pay attention to the characteristics of the other styles of communication leadership. And after the level two, you will have a level three when you will increase your knowledge. That means you will learn new things, okay? Adapt it to your path contents. You will learn new things. And when you will learn new things, at the level four, you will build skills with those new things. So you build new skills. And when you will build new skills, you will become an expert. And at the level five, you will demonstrate your expertise on those new skills that you have been built, that you built during your progression. And this is also very important to know. I will just stop here, and then we'll continue talking in a question answer session, as the time is very important to follow. Thank you again, Lighthouse, and your colleagues of Lighthouse, for inviting me. And I want to give back the floor to Toastmaster Dimba for the moderation. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lancini. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. Okay. So, Toastmaster Lancini, now we have done the basics. This session. So, can you quickly run me through how it will pan out? How are we supposed to run it?
For this question and answer session, I will hear 3 questions and I will answer progressively, so people could take the floor and ask straightly the question to win time, and I will take note and try to answer.
Okay, so what we'll do is we want to do a demonstration, right? If I join Toastmasters today, and before the end of the day, I want to know how to navigate pathways. I want to know how to access pathways. I want to know what am I expected to do on pathways. I also want to know if I want to start my speech, for example, what is expected of me? How exactly do I go to pathways, and what exactly am I supposed to do once I get there to get the guide for my speech? So I think let's start from there. I think, so what do you think? A demo is better. I don't know if we can have a demonstrator. My president is here, Toastmaster Larry. He is willing to be a scapegoat, if you like.
Okay. Okay.
Why are you putting me on the hot seat? Apparently, most of the time when you do proof of concept, it really helps. And because what would be our giveaway would be, okay, not just only joining the Toastmaster today alone. I've delivered my speech. How do I upload? What next? What will I do as the one that has delivered my speech? Then what would be the role of the evaluator online using the Basecamp? If you can just throw more light on that, I think I will quickly log in now, share my screen, and you can tell me point to this, point to that, so everyone can see. Deliberately, I will start from pathway level 1. Deliberately, I can roll back. So it's going to help me to give more speech. So it's going to add more to me. So that's more what TM Gimba is trying to state across so that anyone going back home won't feel it so hard. And the essence why we're recording this is to still go all over it again. We're going to share the link. People can still review the link all over again. And some of us will now train the trainer, because TM Chinedu is prepared for us in Lighthouse Toastmasters, and TM Gimba is prepared for us in Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters. So we have two clubs, and we have the trainer. So they'll go back with this and infuse this pattern to guide these two clubs so that we can navigate our way. So I will expect you to throw more light in this pattern. I deliver a speech now. What do I need to do after delivering my speech? That's one of the major concerns, frequent asked questions. Then what will be the role of my evaluator on the base camp? Thank you very much. Listen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going with a demo. Okay, Jimba?
Yes. Okay, you are a co-host. You can share your screen, please. You can go ahead.
Okay, great.
It would be nice to start from logging into the Toastmasters portal itself. Let us how to log in and how to access pathways. Aha.
Okay. Okay, coming. Just give me. Okay, sorry. So when I'm a new Toastmaster and I want to prepare a project, I will just go on www.toastmasters.org, toastmasters.org. Okay, www.
It is missing in the toast.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Toastmasters.org. Okay, it's done. And let me put my video. Okay. And now you're going to log in. Just clicking on login and you will enter your mail and your password. Okay. So when you enter your mail and your password, you will access to your profile on Toastmasters platform. And the first thing when you want to prepare your project is to click on your name. Here at the top of the screen, you just click on your name. So here I click on Welcome Diabate. And when I click on my name in this screen, at the left side, you have your club and you have a button Go. So if you have if you are a member of several clubs, you can pick your clubs here and you click on Go to access to your base camp. And when you access to your base camp, you just drop down your screen and here you will see your different paths. So here you can see that I have two paths. And when I go for engaging humor or dynamic leadership, I just click on Open Curriculum to access to my path. And here you have the structure of your project. level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you come to level 1, you have different projects in level 1, level 2 also, it is the same thing. And considering that we are preparing icebreaker speech, you have in face of icebreaker, the button launch. And when you click on the button launch, you have access to your resources online. That will take few seconds to load, and then you will access to your resources. And when you will accede, when you have access to your resources, the first thing is to know that here in the bottom you have a selector, and in this selector you have the different training modules that contains your path. For example, you have your assignment, so you can read what is the purpose of this project. You have, after the assignment, you have the competencies, access your skills. So here it can differ considering the path you have chosen. You can have different things here. But the most important thing to do is to go after reading all the different modules. You can go on your evaluation, and here you will print your evaluation resource just in clicking on evaluation resource, and this is the resource you will go to give to your speech evaluator when you will be in the cloud to deliver your speech. So this is the first step before going for your speech delivery. After you have finished to deliver your speech, you must also make the same process to join your Basecamp and to access again to your resources online. But you will come on the last module or the last link where you can see access your skills after. You have access your skills after and access your skills before. So after your speech, you must come and click on access your skills after, and you will be invited to answer to some questions. And after this assessment, you will close definitely your path. So this is the process concerning the member. First step, go to learn your different resources, print your evaluation form. Second step, you go to the club and you give the evaluation form to your evaluator, and then you deliver your speech in front of the members of your club. And the last step is to come back on your Basecamp and now go to make access your skills after. And after this done, you will definitely validate your project. And when you validate your project, here it will be marked and you will know that your project is closed. So this is the process. And the process for the evaluator is to evaluate first the member on the form given to him. And after the speech delivering, you will give back the evaluation form to the speaker. And the speaker will have the possibility to upload this evaluation form on his platform, which is named as the e-portfolio. So this is the process that I can show to you, and if you have other question, I think you can ask, and I can go through the different question you have. Demba, I want to stop here at this step. Are you able to hear me?
For me, no, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you clearly.
Okay, great.
You know, for some of us, our IT savvy is straightforward, but we're thinking about the collective set of people. Yeah, I think we may need to repeat the same process. It's very simple, and let's have an open mind, and it's very straightforward. However, a repeat of process, like I stated earlier on, we're going to do train the trainer, and this is recorded, but we'd like you to go all over the step again, just one more time. Then people can still digest, and I can see people joining, and they can still ask questions for clarification. Over to you again, sir.
Okay. So I know that you want me to go again one more time with the process.
Yes, I love the pattern whereby you started by typing www.toastmasters.org, clicking your name, showcasing where to go on the base camp, the pathway to choose, and if you can navigate that in the next 5 minutes, I think we're done for today, and they can ask more questions. I think people are still digesting, trying to catch up, and trying to look at it, what exactly it is all about. We've stated that earlier on, and the reason why we're here. But if you go all over it again one more time, we'll throw it open to the house, and they'll ask more questions.
Okay, great. So to access to your Toastmasters profile, you will go with your navigator, Firefox or Internet Explorer, and you will put on the link www.toastmasters.org. And you will reach the platform of Toastmasters. And here in this side, you will see login. You just click on login, and you will be asking to enter your mail. It is the email you provide when you were joining a Toastmasters club. Your vice president membership asks you to fulfill a form, and you will enter your email and also your password, and you will click on log in to access to your personal or your profile on Toastmasters website. So I'm supposed to go to prepare a new project that I am going to deliver a speech next week, for example, in my club. So the first thing I have to do is to go and click on my name. Welcome Diabate. So I will see welcome Jimba if I'm Jimba. And when you will click on your name, you will see on the left side, in blue color, a button with the button go. So you just click on the button go, and you will access to your base camp. In the base camp, you have, when you scroll down your screen, this part when you have paths and learning, and at this step or at this part of your screen, you have the different paths you chose. And in face your path, you have open curriculum. So when I want to open my path dynamic leadership, I just click on open curriculum, and I access to the different projects contained in my path. I have my 5 levels here. And in level 1, for example, I have the project Icebreaker, evaluation and feedback, researching and presenting. You will see in the different level a last project with a folder. This is not a project, this is for another thing. So here, for example, I have 3 projects. So I'm supposed to go to present my Icebreaker, so I'm going to launch Icebreaker, and I will access, and I will have access to the different resources to better prepare my Icebreaker. And let's see the different resources we have in the icebreaker. It will take some seconds to load. It depends on your internet network. And here you have a selector. You can go straightly on the first item in the selector, which is introduction. And you will have the introduction. You will have different things concerning your project. You just have to move in using the different arrow. So here you have the beginning, culmination, you have many information. You have information concerning the purpose, the overview of your project, etc. So you must just read. And if you want to have some materials to help you in writing your speech, you can also check the project, download the project checklist, for example. In the project checklist, you will have different things that will help you to prepare, better prepare and write your speech. And you will have the assess your skills before. Here you will answer to different questions. And after validating this step, you will also have to the next steps of your resources. It is resources you just have to read to try to understand. You can have video, you can have email, you can have text, etc. And you will reach a step where you will see evaluate. Let me show you this step. So you continue learning until you reach a step which is your evaluation. Okay. So you have many resources, but if you want to go, I can use the selector here and go straightly to the evaluation, your evaluation. And at this step, you will have the possibility to print your evaluation resource. And this evaluation resource is supposed to be given to your speech evaluator the day you will be delivering your speech. You have also the project, because your evaluator could ask you to give him the work project. You have possibility to print also the work project at the same time. Where you can print your evaluation resource, you can also print your project and send it to your speech evaluator. After this step, you must stop and go now to deliver your speech before coming back and going for the step after, which is assess your skills after. And when you say after, it is after delivering your speech. After delivering your speech, you will answer to some questions again, and that will end your project. So this is the step for you before and after delivering your speech. I hope it is very clear. And,
thank you very much, Toastmaster Lassine.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think the hair, is it Asantegu or Asan Greg? The hair. Lassine.
Lassine, it's accent aigu.
Asante Greg, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Oui, d'accord. So, fellow Toastmaster guests and friends, this is the pathway, and this is the automated version of speech craft, speech delivery, speech evaluation, and this is the way to go. And I know a lot of us already have strategy for 2022, and we want to be a better person, better version of who we are last year. And I'm using myself as an example because I'm ready to crunch a lot of speech, and there's nothing that is not possible. I can become a distinguished Toastmaster today. And this year, rather, not just today overnight. That means I have to deliver several speeches That's minimum of 40 speeches or more than that. So I have some veteran Toastmasters that just sneaked in, and I have distinguished Toastmaster Kayode Yusuf. I have my able immediate past president, Toastmaster Rotimi Omotayo Benson. I have, these are big shock. I have another, I think I saw the director, division director online some few minutes ago. I have distinguished Toastmaster Chidi Chukwudi Madu, our able division director. I think at this point in time, they might want to give one award or two in just to encourage us. Toastmaster Chidi, you have the floor, the virtual floor. Toastmaster Chidi, can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can. I was trying to unmute.
I know you are in another country. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm putting you on the spot. You know, I'm your boy.
Oh, wow. All right. Give me a few minutes. Can you give me 2 minutes? I will come. I actually want to put on my camera, but give me 2 minutes and I'll be back on your screen.
We will do that. Toastmaster, so I will do it in this order. My immediate past president, Toastmaster Rotimi Omotayo. Then after you, the distinguished Toastmaster Kayode Yusuf will speak after you. Concerning, I know you guys already, you're on the pathway. Your testimonial, just 1 minute, so that while Toastmaster Chidi is putting on our camera. Toastmaster Rotimi, are you there? These are techie gurus and at the same time, past president of Lighthouse Toastmasters. Okay, without much ado, let me move to distinguished Toastmaster Kayode Yusuf.
Mr. President.
These are my boss, so they don't have any choice. so Toastmaster Kayode Yusuf, let me say something about you. He has been evangelizing pathways since 2018, correct me, or 17?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, 2017. He has seen the way. He has been prophesying, telling us he's coming your way. He's coming. Because we never thought coronavirus and every other thing will come to our doorsteps and we don't have any choice. And he has been campaigning, telling us, do pathway. This is the way. This is the way. Now, this is the way. We don't have any choice now. So, Toastmaster Kayode, you can share some light on what our guest facilitator has really dealt. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our friends and guests. Thank you very much, BTM Diabite, my very good friend from Abidjan. I listened all through to your presentation, and I think that it was quite on point. And I must mention that I was one of those that actually kickstarted pathways in our districts. And when I say the district, I mean all across West Africa. As a matter of fact, I was the project manager for Pathways. And because of these responsibilities, Toastmasters actually trained some of us, I inclusive, across the world, first on Pathways. And what I found out, just like Mr. President had mentioned, was the forward-thinking attitude that Toastmasters had. In 2017, actually, we started the process in 2016, but it was quite underground. We did a lot of research. And what I found amazing was that Toastmasters did a review of the education program. Toastmasters started in about 1924. And in about 100 years, one of the things that they checked was that 100 years ago, what sort of mobile phones were we using? There was nothing like mobile phones. But today we have mobile phones. They are regular, they are normal. 100 years ago, what sort of computers were we using? there were no computers. There were some supercomputers that were very big, but very inefficient. But today, I'm connecting with you with a laptop that is as small as my palm. And when I go out, I just put it underneath my armpit. And according to records, my mobile phone is more powerful than the computer that sent man to space the first time man went to space. What sort of cars were we driving 100 years ago? They were the Henry Ford type of cars that you see in those 90-20 movies. But what sort of cars do we have today? Today we have self-driving cars. We have cars that do not use fuel because they are running on batteries. We have cars that you can pick up your mobile phone and tell your car ampere, and the car comes over to you. We have cars that you drive. When you get to where you want to park, you just come out of the car finds a parking space by itself and parks itself. We have cars like, for those of us that use the key, the remote for it, you go into a car park, maybe you went to an O&B, there are so many cars, you can't find where your car is. You just pick out your car keys, you press a button, and then your car sounds, then you know that, oh, that's my car over there. The point is that 100 years ago, things have changed considerably so much that if someone slept 100 years ago and the person wakes up today, the person will probably go mad because everything has changed. So why do we want to keep using the same education system that was designed 100 years ago for today's life? And that was the reason why Pathways was created. One of the things that makes Pathways exquisite is the fact that Pathways was not created from the top to bottom. So in Toastmasters, the club is the most powerful entity in the club. Nay, the members are the most powerful. So the members belong to a club. The clubs belong to an area. I think Tim Diabite is an area director. So he manages about 3 to 4 to 5 clubs. And then some areas belong to a division. The TM Chidi is our division director. She manages half of Nigeria. And then in District 94, we have about 13 districts. Then we have the region. We belong to Region 11, which covers West and Central Africa, which covers Europe and Africa. And then we have Toastmasters International. So these pathways did not come from Toastmasters International down to the members. No. What happened was that some members were selected to go through the education program and suggest what improvements can be made. And that was how pathways came about. Some of the things that were considered was the fact that we should not deal with paper-based materials. Yes, if you love old school, you can still have your paper-based material, but we should have things that are virtual, that people can connect from wherever and still be relevant. And that was how pathways came about. And just like the president had mentioned, there was no thought that something like COVID would come to be. I've been a club president before, and I tell you that club presidents go through a whole lot. Getting members, retaining members, making sure that the club lives to expectation. Now, imagine if Pathways was not available. What do you think would have happened to our clubs today? We probably would have lost all of our clubs. But because of Pathways, we're able to still meet remotely and still go on with our regular learnings, just like we had never been apart from each other. Because of Pathways, we actually saw an increase in membership in the year 2020. Funny, people were losing their jobs. There was COVID, there was sit at home, but people just needed another outlet to reach out to people. And because of that, people intentionally joined Toastmasters. They joined Toastmasters out of boredom. They joined Toastmasters out of just wanting to communicate with people. And then they formed the value in Toastmasters and remained members. 2020 and 2021, the membership spiked so much, especially in our districts, that we were second best district all across the world. And I think that all of this boils down back to Pathways. What's the reason of all of this history I'm giving? The training that we just had is very important. Why is it important? It's important because Pathways looks complex, but when you immerse yourself in it, you get to enjoy the process. It's something that you just need to take that step forward to do. I have known people that since we have rolled out pathways, they have just avoided the portal. A lot of people will do their speeches, they have the evaluation on paper, but they just don't want to take it to pathways. It's not as difficult as it looks. What I recommend for us to do is probably go through these recordings again, go through the steps that were given. If you get stuck, I am always available. Mr. President is available. The Vice President of Education team. For the both clubs, I was going to mention for one of the clubs, but for both clubs, the Vice President of Education are available. They actually have superior power on pathways, and they are able to guide you and direct you. If you are not able to reach them, anybody that's available, I'm sure if you reach out to the TM Diabete, despite the fact that it's far away in Abidjan, is going to respond to you because we are all a community. And one of the things that we do is to pull ourselves up together. So once again, I recommend to you and I would admonish us to just try it out. Make the mistakes. There is no worse mistake that you could make in pathways. Make the mistakes. If you get stuck, reach out for help, and we're here to support you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. That was a walk down history.
That was another speech within speech. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Kayode. Distinguished Toastmaster Kayode happened to be one of the subject matter experts for pathways. And you can see from distinguished Toastmaster Lassine, very humble. We're calling you Toastmaster and you're responding. We never knew that you're a distinguished Toastmaster, but please permit me. So I have another big giant, a female version, and a subject matter expert and a veteran. You can see the beautiful face on the video, DTM Chidi Chukwudi Madu. You need to encourage us within 2 minutes before we call it a day. Over to you, madam.
Thank you most graciously, Mr. President. I probably should have gone before the TM Kayode. Because you know, what do you say here when the distinguished Toastmaster Kayode, they already graced the virtual lecture. He's basically giving us another training on pathway. That goes to show how passionate he is about pathways, how passionate he is about improvement. I live by a mantra, Kaizen, which says continuous improvement. And the fact is the only way you can improve is if you practice. So you want to be a good speaker, you want to be a good communicator, an effective leader, you need to develop yourself. I started out on the traditional path. Matter of fact, I think I was chasing my advanced communicator Silver when pathways came on board. And I felt like, no way, I'm not ready. I must finish the traditional pathway. And I chased it. Now, when pathways came on board, at first it was overwhelming because it's almost like you have to go back, do icebreaker, and it felt like you had to repeat certain projects that you had done before. But the beauty of it is you choose, it's almost like choosing your battle. So you have a path, you can decide what paths you want to. Now it's you making that decision, not someone making the decision for you. You know, in the traditional parts, compulsorily, you must do the competent communicator part, do 10 speeches. You don't have a choice. And then you go on to do the ACB, Advanced Communicator Bronze, Silver, and so on. But with pathways, you have that opportunity. The power is in your hands to decide what you want to develop, what skill is on the top burner for you. And then you pick, you choose, you decide, and start that journey. Imagine doing an icebreaker over and over. What it helps you do is you almost become an expert icebreaker speaker. You become an expert when it comes to understanding your communication style, your leadership style. These projects that you get to do over and over, you get better at them. And then you get an icing on the cake where you basically have to do everything that you would have done in a space of maybe 3-4 years. You have that opportunity to do them in a space of months and do them over and over and get better. The fact that it's on the go, the fact that you can share experience with someone who's on a different path. So I'm on perhaps effective coaching. And Mr. President, Toastmaster Larry Wadri is maybe on innovative planning, but we probably would have a particular project that speaks to maybe managing projects or managing a team. We could come together, collaborate, him leveraging on that to improve his own part, his own skill, his focus, and myself leveraging on to improve my focus. So there's a myriad of opportunities that Pathways presents. And speaking from the experience of someone who's done the traditional path, I'm sure Distinguished Toastmaster Kayode has basically just shown it out there for you. Going on to Pathways, you can see it's like a KG and then going for your PhD. The difference is clear. You can only be better, you can only do better if you apply yourself to it. You have videos you can watch. If you go through Basecamp, there are materials that would help you make that journey easier. And as the same Kayode has said, you have that opportunity to then leverage on the experience of Toastmasters who have gone on this journey. I'm excited to see Toastmaster Lansine here, all the way from Abidjan, the power of virtual meetings, sharing his experience with us. And I want to appreciate Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige for making this possible, enabling members to come here from a Pathways expert on how to simplify the Pathways journey. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Lansine. Thank you, DTM Kayode, for taking the shine. And thank you, Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige, for this opportunity. Cheers, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you most graciously. So having a female version and a subject matter expert, I must say vividly, distinguished Toastmaster Chidi, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you that I'm on innovation planning. And this has really helped my career. This is part of the testimony concern because I'm a project manager in an IT space. So it's a win-win. And I'm advertising Toastmasters Pathway to every other personality here. It's going to help you in your career. And it's going to be a C-level thing whereby you have both soft skills helping you and being techie savvy at this stage because everything is going artificial intelligence, robotics, and you can hear DTM card stating that your car will take you from one space to the other, and you don't have any choice. So things are being automated. So you shouldn't be caught unaware, and Toastmaster is giving you an opportunity to clarify. That's why we brought in a very veteran, not only on Toastmasters, a subject matter expert in Pathway, that's DTM Lansine. So, but before we go on, we'd like to take 2 or 3 questions from the audience so that we can call it a day. Then distinguished Toastmaster Lansine will do justice to that. So do we have questions, clarifications? And we're going to make the recorded version available to all. And to announce to you for the 2 clubs, we have Toastmaster Chinedu, who will be from Lighthouse Toastmaster to educate whenever you want to clarify after this meeting as a follow-up. Then we have Toastmaster Gimba from Lighthouse Prestige. These are 2 champions that are ready to ensure that we are on the right path for the pathway. So you can knock on their doors globally, virtually, anytime they are available. And I am available as well. So questions, please. Toastmaster Francis, your icebreaker is next meeting. So I'm putting you, do I hear a yes to that, Toastmaster Francis? Toastmaster Francis?
Okay, before she comes on, I have a quick question for Toastmaster Lansine. What is the Triple Crown Award?
Yeah, thank you. The Triple Crown Award is the fact of achieving minimum 3 level in pathways during the mandate. So if you achieve level 1, level 2, and level 3, during the mandate, you have the pins of Triple Crown. It is, I think, more easy now to get these pins because pathways, you have a different level and it is more easy to get it. Before, it was more complicated. So for those who want to get Triple Crown pins, you just have to achieve three level.
Thank you so much. I have a last question for you. So now, if I want to give my speech, I log on to Toastmasters International portal, I go to Basecamp, I go to my path, I go to Pathways, I open my path, I look at the level I'm on, I open the guide for the project, and then I start reading it. I look at the guide, I have the evaluation resource, I have all the requirements for that particular project on that guide. I even do an assessment, a skill assessment before the project. Then I go and give my speech at the club meeting. Now, my question is, what would signify to Toastmasters International that I have completed that speech? What is expected of me? What am I supposed to do in order for Toastmasters International to recognize that I have completed that project?
Only one thing. It is to come back to the platform and go for the assessment after. So the assessment after is the action that will close definitely your project and tell to Toastmasters that you have achieved the project. So don't forget making your assessment after. It is very important. Sometimes you can hear some members telling that I have finished my project, but in my Basecamp, it is not validated. So it is most of time because they did not make the assessment after. This is very important. So
Thank
just
you.
make the assessment after, yeah.
Any other question from the audience? Toastmaster Izu, Toastmaster Nora.
Toastmaster Adeniro Honora, Toastmaster Mary, Toastmaster Vivian. Toastmaster Vivian, you are an HR personnel. Let me expose you. You can ask us questions or you can tell us what you've learned so far in 2 minutes. Toastmaster Vivian, are you there?
I can add something. The time to. Could I add something?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon.
Toastmaster Larry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I've been in and out of the meeting. So I've learned quite a number of things. I'm still pretty new. I've learned so far so good being a Toastmaster member. I've tried to improve my public speaking and communication within my organization and outside my organization. It's still a slow learning process for me. And I hope in the next 3 months, I'll be much better. Being in and out of the meeting, I would have to visit the YouTube channel to download and watch the meeting all over again. So I can get every content and every discussion that we'll discuss during this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Adeniro Honora, can we hear a word from you? Toastmaster Nora King, all the way from Festac. These are my friends. So
could I add something?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Shoot.
It is to tell that we have the possibility for the start to the end of the process of delivering speech and evaluation to not print a paper. So that means that the speaker could just send the evaluation form to the evaluator, and the PDF evaluation form is writable. So the evaluation could write on the PDF and send it back to the speaker. So we can also, so we can make the process, all the process without printing a paper. And I think that people are encouraged to print paper only when it is needed because of the planet needs this kind of attitude. So if you can, you are not, it is not mandatory to print the material if your evaluator has the possibility to fulfill the form. But if the evaluator asks you to print it, you have to do it because the evaluator is, it is important to take your evaluation, your evaluator point of view also. Yeah, just to add this.
Thank you very much. That's a nice workflow. I think it sits well with most of us. We can use the WhatsApp chat with our evaluator and having delivered a speech. Once it's been edited via WhatsApp, we can submit it back. So that's a very seamless workflow rather than printing, because that means you're going outside this system, coming back again. That's a very good perspective and another option. Thank you very much for that. So at this point in time, without much ado, I'd like to hand over back to Toastmaster Gimba. Toastmaster Gimba. Toastmaster Gimba. So that
yes.
we can round up for today.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for that wonderful job. Well done. I have learned a lot today. I've learned about pathways, and like we promised at the beginning of the session, if you pay attention and you stick with us till the end, you will understand pathways a lot better. So, for the benefit of guests in the house who are thinking of joining Toastmasters, this is what it's all about. Now you see, now you see the crux, the heart of our education. This is what every Toastmaster does now. You have a path, you complete it, you choose another path, you complete it, and that's how you progress from there. Before you know it, you've built the confidence to be a better speaker, a better communicator, which in turn makes you a better leader. Thank you so much for coming out today. Let me start by thanking Mr. President, Toastmaster Lawal, the president of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club. He is an amazing man. He took us through table topics impromptu in the morning. Thank you for that. I would like to thank the division director, my boss, for coming out today, distinguished Mr. Chidi Chukwudimadu. You gave us an amazing remark, and thank you for the confidence to pursue pathways. And I know for sure that distinguished Toastmaster Chidi has completed about maybe 2 or 3 parts now. So she's an expert, she knows what she's talking about. Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Kaide Yusuf, you are somebody who has been disturbing us and badgering us and pushing us to take on pathways ever since it came out back in 2018. And now we are happy we have done that. We are happy to have taken that path to join pathways and take it from there. Thank you for your amazing remarks. We look forward to subsequent pathways nudge in case some of us are trying to derail. Thank you. And our facilitator today, Toastmaster Lansini Diapache, all the way from Abidjan. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you for giving us this. Thank you for this confidence instilled in us. Thank you for how you simplified pathways. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought, wow, so this thing is not even all that. You know, that was super amazing. Thank you so much. This is why you were the president of the pathways experts. Thank you very much. If we bring on new members and we need to take them through pathways, we know where to go. Thank you. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your efforts. And to everyone else who came out today, new members, I can see Toastmaster Deniron, Toastmaster Izu, Toastmaster Good News, Toastmaster Francis. You've given an icebreaker before, but you are here to give another one, so you are also a new member. Toastmaster Nora, Toastmaster Dayo. Our guest, Olayombo, I hope you like what you saw today, and I hope you will take the reins and join us so that you can be a part of pathways. To everyone else I didn't mention, Toastmaster Samson, welcome. Thank you for coming today. Toastmaster Chidubem, I hope this encourages you to join as early as possible so that we can get you on pathways and you can start your journey. I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Let's please unmute our microphones and give ourselves a round of applause. Our facilitators, our directors, an e-applause or a physical applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. This is a wonderful way to start the year. The fear of pathways is gone, and now we can look forward to an amazing year. So thank you so much. I would officially bring the meeting to a close right now, but for our guests in the house, please stay back. We would like to get to know you better. Toastmaster Larry, you can stop the stream so that people can show their faces.
Okay.
Thank you to